We're crossing now to Lakeland, Florida, where we're joined exclusively by Meghan Markle's half-sister Samantha to discuss those damning poll results that I revealed earlier on the Duchess of Sussex. So just a reminder, in case you've only just tuned in, our exclusive scientific survey with one poll found that following the revelations in the legal case against Associated Newspapers Limited, just 34% generally believe that Meghan is honest. When asked whether they agree or disagree with Meghan's father, Thomas, that his daughter was trying to deceive the court, 63% either strongly agreed or somewhat agreed. And finally, and I reckon this is the most devastating verdict of them all, 52% said Meghan and Harry should be stripped of their royal titles following the revelations in their legal case against the Mail on Sunday. Samantha, let me bring you straight in. What do you make of those damning poll results from the British public?
I think the poll results were accurate. I think the pulse of the people now really suggests that the public can see through PR, they can see through what's printed, and they can certainly assess someone's observable actions and use deductive reasoning and form those opinions. So they're not unfounded, and yeah, I would agree.
So last week I had your father here, Thomas, Sam, and he suggested that Meghan may have been deliberately lying to the court. Do you think your sister committed perjury?
Yes, I do. With regards to the letter, between the eloquent language and the flamboyant calligraphy and the word choices. The word choices were so dramatic and so pointed, and none of them true. I mean, it was just so blameful and skewed, and I felt that she committed perjury on the grounds that, you don't forget about firstly contributing to your own book. That takes a concerted effort. I wrote a book. You know what you wrote in your book. You don't, it's not like talking about what you had for lunch casually and, I forgot that I had a soda. Or it's much more serious than that. You know what you said. You know what your agenda was for saying it, what your beginning, middle, and end was, and what your point was. So to say that, it was a mishap was incredibly wrong, and I believe perjury. It's one thing if you disagree with relatives, as if you're a humanitarian and you disagree, you find a way to have a meeting of the minds and become better people and work things out and grow together, or decide to disagree and, grow apart. But you don't purposely injure people. It's not very mature. It's not a humanitarian. And clearly, I think what else was really shocking was the fact that I had already debunked in the media the fact that, no, I didn't only see her twice. I didn't only see her when she was 6 and bump into her. The whole Oprah interview was chock full of lies, as you would say, porky pies. And I debunked that with evidence in the media, and still it went in to the book. Still it came out in the court transcripts. So I thought, why is she pushing this? Why does she so desperately want to paint a picture of me that I'm either A, not credible, or that I'm some sort of dodgy woman? I'm her older sister in a wheelchair. I think the goal clearly was to discredit me, to discredit my father, because then if we did speak out, we wouldn't have credibility when her porky pie slipped out. She said this, but wait, so the stories would contradict. And in other words, she had no reason for going through all of this just to silence everybody.
And I mean, Sam, I've been speaking to you since before the wedding, and I know you don't lie, but I did ask your dad directly last week whether Meghan had a close relationship with you growing up, and he said absolutely you had a relationship. So that's your dad backing up the story. So it's not you who's told porcupines, it's Meghan. And the problem is, when you start bringing your world of delusion to a British courtroom, it becomes something far, far more serious.
Well, it could very well be that when she was younger, maybe she wanted siblings that were closer in age that she could sort of corral and control and that were, you know, in her peer age group. But we were as normal and as close as would be reasonable for older brothers and sisters. You turn 18. I don't know if it's the same in Great Britain. You go to school, you get out, you move out of the house, you get a job, and still we were only 15 minutes away, interacting with her as much as our jobs would allow and as much as we could because she was in school full time all day. So
Yeah, no,
and when she wasn't in school, she was wanting to be with best friends. And so, but I think to take that away from family or to diminish it or to mock it as if we weren't with her 24/7 and that should make us any less her siblings is really wrong and, you know, not rational on the grounds that we're older brothers and sisters.
Yeah. No, exactly. So, Sam, she's told these lies about you. You said that you believe that they're libelous. Do you think that you could have legal recourse against your sister?
Well, of course, you know, I mean, I think it's really unfair that both she and, you know, the publisher and Omid Scobie, knowing that these things were not true, put them in there. And if the publisher was not sure, you know, doing their due diligence within the scope of their knowledge and authority as a publisher, they should have done some fact finding because you don't. Why would you say someone's been married 3 times, had, you know, 3 children from 3 different men? Why would you purposely make someone out to look of ill repute and dodgy in a book that goes into history as a royal biography? My God, you know, that is defamatory, and I didn't deserve that, and I don't think that I should go down in history as what she wanted to paint of me as some sort of revenge. So absolutely, and I don't think HarperCollins should have allowed that. And they have a shared liability. They profited off of my detriment, off of, you know, a lot of times I hear people still say, even journalists or broadcasters, oh, well, that's Samantha. Yeah, there's that Samantha. Well, people roll their eyes and they get that impression because of the overall picture, like a Renoir, like a bad Renoir, that was painted of me from all of these little extrapolations saying I didn't know her, I was this, I was that, all that weren't true and that have been debunked. But they form a social perception.
No, you're right.
I've been judged.
And it's
I've been
unfair.
harassed in
It's
social
unfair,
media.
and I recommend that people read your book because it gives you a full, well-rounded picture. What did you make of what I would describe as a cringe-worthy comeback from Meghan on the Ellen DeGeneres show tomorrow, Sam?
You know, I gotta say, yeah, I saw that, and I just couldn't believe it on the grounds that my father doted on her so much. And there's a story behind that Ford Explorer, by the way. It wasn't a beat-up old Explorer. Like, that was drama. I think she just wants people to think she roughed it as an actress. She never roughed anything with our dad. He paid for her insurance, her vehicles, her classes. He made sure she had just, a pretty cushy life. And my father had come to visit me in actually her Nissan. I don't know, a friend was borrowing his car. I don't know what he was doing. So he came to visit me in a Nissan and ended up having a rollover accident in the snow in Arizona. Okay. So when that vehicle, the insurance company paid out the vehicle, and that she got the new Explorer. So she got a very nice Ford Explorer. It wasn't a beat-up old yada yada. And
I mean, your dad's an Emmy Award-winning sound engineer, you know, on General Hospital. I think you're right. I always think you're right, though, Sam Markle. It's so lovely to have spoken to you, and we'll speak soon. Thank you. Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.